Let's talk economics, huh? So we were talking about Civil War earlier. I saw this tweet from Matt Kors. He says, prepare for a crash. And he's referencing Jim Cramer saying why we're buying stocks heading into Wednesday's big Fed decision. You know what this sounds like to me? The Federal Reserve. Oh, the Federal Reserve is trending. Let's see if they raised rates. When the TV tells you to buy, they're like, it's not a recession, buy. It's because the rich people are offloading and the break is going to happen.
Yeah, he made some crazy calls in 2008 that were absolutely wrong and have obliterated people's personal finances.
Look at this. Like Bear Stearns, get a bunch of it.
This is from...
Seriously, that's what he did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
This is from yesterday morning. Every stock in the S&P 500 is red right now.
Oh, my gosh.
So when they're like, no, we're buying right now if the Fed's decision is going to raise rates and tank the market. Now, I don't know, man. The challenge is raising interest rates to try and deal with inflation. What else do you do? Do you just what do you do?
Well, it's difficult, right? Because this is what they always do. Every single time the stock market is declining, they print a bunch of money to artificially inflate the price of stocks. But of course, that in the long run, as we just saw, inflates the cost of everything else. So with inflation out of control, I have no idea what they're even going to attempt to do.
We're just building back better.
Yeah.
We're just building back better, baby.
It's almost like they're going to have to reset things in some way.
Great fashion.
It's almost like we have to live in the pods and eat the bugs.
Let's talk about this.
It's going well. I love it.
It's building back better. Property prices plunged by about 20% across parts of the U.S.
Geez.
We got real estate firms Compass and Redfin announced layoffs as housing market slows, and then we get Coinbase dropping 18% of its staff.
Oh, geez.
The crypto market we get because crypto took a major hit. But apparently what they're saying is we are entering a recession. This is what they're saying. We didn't have to do this, but it appears we're entering a recession. Housing market's getting hit. Stock market's getting hit. Building back better apparently means wiping out all of the gains of the past 2 years, driving gas prices up to $5 a gallon, making sure you can't work, and sending billions of dollars to Ukraine to fund war.
Hold on. To be fair, it's going to go up to way more than $5 a gallon.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, maybe $7 by August.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already where I live in Palmdale, California. We're at like $6.39, so we're already at.
What a sophisticated and well-run state. I hope they tell Florida what kind of policies to make.
Right.
The only thing saving me is that good weather, but that's about it.
Right.
I love it. Klaus Schwab told me that I will own nothing and be happy, and that's how I feel right
Well,
now.
I was like, I already own nothing. When are you going to make me happy?
That's how I feel. I feel happy right now. Biden loves me. I'm a stupid Mexican. I can't think for myself. I can't vote for myself. I can't figure out how to go get a voter ID, and I'm poor.
Someone's gonna clip that up.
My money just sucks. My bank account is horrible. I have nothing to own, nothing to show for myself. Tim, I am so happy.
Well, listen.
This Build Back Better agenda.
Calm down. It only applies.
I love it.
It only applies. Okay, the Klaus Schwab
Killer
stuff,
white supremacist cops are hunting me everywhere I go, and it's just going great.
No, it only applies if you're poor.
I am poor, Tim.
Oh.
Drew,
Well,
why
I'm
don't
not,
you
so I don't care.
just buy a
Build
Tesla?
Back Better. I am poor. I give my money to Zelensky. I donate religiously.
What is going on right now,
I
Libby?
left the Christian church and I went to the Church of Zelensky. I give my tithing to him every single month.
Listen,
I'm part of the cult, Tim.
buy an electric car.
Yeah,
right?
how
It's
dare you.
only $60,000.
Yeah,
It's only
I
$60,000, Drew. Are you poor?
I know.
Drew, are you poor?
I
You can't
emailed
afford
Elon
$60,000?
Musk. I tried to get one, but it didn't work. So I'm trying to email Biden to get one next, and we'll get there.
It sounds like you don't want to build back better.
Yeah.
I am building back better. That's what you guys don't understand.
Maybe
You
try
guys are
doing
all
your
the
part.
crazy ones. Every single one of you in this room. I am the same
This
Also,
guy's
wait,
one.
such a bigot.
I
Doesn't want to spend
got
$60,000 on a
the
new
download
Tesla.
in my brain. You guys didn't get the update. I have the most recent update.
The new thing?
The new
What's the new
thing. You
thing?
guys don't even know what it is
You
yet.
know the thing.
It's
I
all-
want to mention one thing. I find this hilarious, right? Because you'll have like talk show hosts like Stephen Colbert and other people on the left who will say, if you're worried about gas prices, just get an electric car. When like obviously that's ridiculous. If someone's having trouble affording gas, they can't afford an electric car. But also, it's not as if having an electric car exempts you from the widespread economic consequences of high gas prices. Food's going to get more expensive, dude. Energy costs are going to go
just
up.
wait for
You
the
have to
blackouts.
charge that car.
Wait for the
Yeah.
burnouts and
Yeah,
blackouts.
who needs baby food?
brownouts.
Yeah?
They're gonna be like, well, I have an electric car.
Tampons? Who needs tampons, right?
Wasn't that a story?
Yeah,
Yes, it
tampon
is.
shortage.
Yeah.
But women could just use rags, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Drew.
I'm not a
Drew,
lady,
You know
so I don't
about that,
know.
right, Drew? You have experience with
They
that.
don't know it.
I'm the greatest woman you guys have ever seen,
I am in
man.
awe. Aw.
Don't you
Yeah.
guys know it takes a great man to be a
Well,
real woman
they
these
put-
days?
A
With Leah
Latinx.
Thomas and friggin' Taylor. Like, what happened with her with the skateboarding? I mean,
Hey.
Let's,
Don't disrespect Leah Thomas, all right?
But let's just keep it
How
on the
dare you.
economic collapse.
the shoulders on Leah
Otherwise,
Thomas.
we're kind of going crazy.
They just had to put. Well, they
So-
had to put a hold on all women's products until we can figure out what a woman is.
Exactly.
Okay,
Then,
It's
So-
the end of the world. We might as well enjoy it, right?
We got mass layoffs, and it's happening in the housing market first. Crypto is kind of like it's its own thing. I'm not selling crypto. You know, I think crypto's going down the same as most things are going down. But what's going to come next with high gas prices, with a recession? I hope y'all are getting prepared. I don't know exactly what that means. Do you buy 30 years of the beans? I don't know.
Jeez.
Don't look at me. All I know is it is going to get worse because they're telling us it's going to get worse because they said you will own nothing. You know what nothing means? Nothing. Owning nothing means you won't have a can of beans.
That's right.
So it says when you're hungry, you might find yourself in a Walmart parking lot fighting with Agnes over that last can.
Well, but there's this really smart guy who told me breadlines are a good thing because it means you have
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Breadlines.
Was that Bernie?
Breadlines are a good
Breadlines
thing.
are a good
It's
thing.
like, well, that's really easy to say when you have
That's
like
a
3
good
houses, right?
I have 3 loaves of
But
bread,
also-
one for each house.
Dude, when he went, he's hilarious. He went to the USSR on his honeymoon, and I'm not kidding you.
yeah.
One of the things he said, praising the Soviet government, was that there were inexpensive puppet shows. I just want that to sink in. That is a little. He's like, well, look, the puppet shows were very inexpensive.
the-
You know, they've got gulags, but a puppet show, it's cheap. You go there, you get to see the puppets talk with each other. It's charming, quite frankly.
Did he really say that?
Yes, he said they had cheap. He was going on with a list of all the wonderful things that were happening in the USSR, and one of them was he praised these cheap puppet shows. He's like, they only cost, I can't remember, it was like $1.50. You get to watch a puppet show. It's incredible. What? Every other developed nation has cheap puppet shows, but the United States, why is that? Why aren't we talking
Dude,
about
BlackRock is gonna own everything, man.
this? Including
Dude,
the
that's
puppet
gonna
show.
be that's gonna be the Gulag Entertainment is puppet shows by Bernie Sanders.
You guys
Shadow
think I'm
puppets.
kidding? Look up the USSR and Bernie
All that-
Sanders in puppet shows. Look it up.
All I know is if anyone eats carne asada tacos in the Gulag, I'm your boy because we're smuggling
like-
that carne asada in.
Bernie is
good.
like
We gotta figure this
the Soviet
stuff out
Union.
now.
They have cheap puppet shows, and there's the other guy's just sitting there. and He's like, I was just watching The Simpsons on TV. It was free.
Can you tell me how to get
I could-
Sesame Street?
Do you guys know the Shawshank Redemption?
Yes, of
you know,
course.
You know, like Red. He's like the go-to guy to get your stuff. I could picture Tim being Red in the gulags when they come. Tim's gonna be like the go-to
Don't give him
connect
away.
to get your stuff, to get you connected to whatever you need. Tim's
That's
Red.
absolutely not true.
Tim's the guy.
I'm gonna be.
You're
in
gonna
the
be the
shadows,
guy, Tim.
minding my own business.
No, you'll be the guy.
No, I won't be. No,
Nope,
I'll be just
nope,
sitting in the
nope,
back,
that's right.
and someone will
Tim
walk up
won't
to
be
me, and I'll
doing
be like,
anything.
"Don't open your mouth. Keep walking."
I could see Seamus using his. I'm not gonna go.
What is
I'm
this?
not gonna go there.
Is this some kind? Is this
come
a
on,
pot
Luke.
of gold
I'm not
reference?
gonna-
You think they're gonna let us keep
I was
that?
gonna say prison wallet,
This
but
is
that's
the thing.
another discussion.
Oh,
Grow up.
no. Come on, man.
I thought you were gonna make a potato reference or something.
I just
Come on,
want to
man.
say, by the way, with this inflation stuff, I mean, I've got a pot of gold, so like, I'm fine.
You're set. Yeah. You.
I'm just kidding. I don't have any assets.
Yeah, you don't have anything. Yeah. Right.
So yeah,
But if I did, those would also be crashing. I'm serious. If I did, those would also be crashing. What are the consequences of this? I mean, what do we do? And what is the Federal Reserve going to do? I'm fascinated.
Raise
to know what
interest
they're gonna
rates
try.
because inflation is going insane.
Yeah.
And, I suppose the real issue is they could encourage more production. We could do more energy development here at home. Instead, they're just like, me,
But then people
Shut
will
down.
own something and not be happy.
Exactly. They'll own stuff and be unhappy. I mean, it is true. Owning stuff makes you unhappy.
True.
We talked about it. They did a survey, a test on people, a study, where they said if you complete this questionnaire, you'll get a free T-shirt. One group got to choose between 2 different shirts. One group was just given a shirt. The group that got to choose was unhappy because they were like, oh, I picked the wrong color. I should have picked the other one. The people were just given a shirt. We're like, cool, free shirt.
Got a shirt. Woo.
Yeah, it was the choice
Yeah.
that
Good.
actually made them
All right,
upset.
I'm gonna be happy in the pod then.
There you go. That's it.
They're not going to let you
Not gonna
choose.
happen.
Yeah.
They're like, there's your pot. It's gray. And you're like, I like it.
I like gray.
It's free, huh?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
free.
Yeah,
Tell me what I need.
Yeah.
Tell
I
me
just
what
hope they
want.
don't let me choose what kind of bugs I'm eating.
I know, right? I don't
I
know.
mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah, that'd be the
essentially what
worst.
the AI does on your phone. Just
You'd
tells
be,
you what you want. tells
you'll
you
be
what
like,
you need.
I should have chose crickets. These roaches are
Darn it, grubs are gross.
yeah,
Crickets are crunchier.
little
Put a little
Astringent.
tapatio on
Yeah, there you
on
go.
my
There you
blood.
go. That's how you're gonna do
Spice it up. I got you.
Giving
Seamus was
him
in the
the
gulag.
gulags.
I got you in the gulag.
Yeah, yeah.
There's gonna
Thank
be
you.
a
I
gulag
appreciate
training.
that. I'm glad someone.
Yeah, we'll get you back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
man.
bring the Irish beer. I got the carne asada. We're
Dude,
gonna
the
have
Irish food? You want Irish food there?
Irish
They're
beer.
probably
We want
serving
Irish
Irish
beer.
food. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, then.
I don't know, man. I like shepherd's pie.
I like potatoes.
Every now and
Yeah.
again, there's like something good.
It's
but
like
for the
they
most
make a
part-
stew and they top it with potato.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they do.
Look, all I'm saying is this: we are in a you guys want to make all these jokes. We are in a conundrum here, but this, I mean, look, this is one of the inevitable consequences of an economy which is planned, and not just planned, but planned by people who face zero consequences for making horrible decisions. Mm-hmm. This is where we are. These people have always been incompetent. Even FDR,
You know?
who they look up to and worship. Can I make this point?
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to make FDR, who they look up to and worship. This is the greatest president we ever had. Well, firstly, America had one of the slowest economic recoveries of any developed nation coming out of the Great Depression. But also, he once increased the price of gold by 21 cents, and his rationale was 3 times is a lucky number.
That's amazing.
Kinda-
These were the kinds of decisions being made for the entire economy.
kind of agree with
It's
you.
It's not
But
wrong.
it's not as if we've had it's not as if it's a new phenomenon that the economy is being run and controlled by people who have absolutely no clue what they're messing with. It's just we're seeing some serious widespread consequences.
I think they know what they're doing because it's definitely
Some
helping
of them.
them out.
I mean, look at
Some of
2008.
them.
Look at
Some of
2008.
them.
I mean, everyone who was responsible for 2008, none of them are
Were held
serving-
responsible.
yeah, they're not held responsible.
No,
it's a
Bernie Madoff
broken
got in trouble,
system.
bro.
It's a broken system, but you know who is held responsible is guys like Julian Assange, for like exposing war crimes, and those who did the war crimes, they don't have to see a day in jail.
They weren't only just not held responsible; they were promoted. They were
Yep.
given a check. They were given bonuses on top of their financial crimes that they committed against the people. So what happened there was paved over. The bubble was made bigger, and now we're all just kind of sitting here waiting for everything to pop.
Yep.
As of course we're getting the first kind of storm incoming, and I think this is one storm of many to come. And I think we talk about the problems. I think maybe we still got a couple more minutes. We could talk about maybe potential solutions. I think one of the best currencies you could have is social currency, the friends you have, the relationships you have,
Family,
your
point.
neighborhood, your community. I think focusing on creating pods, on homeschooling your children is something that, of course, will help get us through these larger storms because they are coming. There's a lot of people are scared. A lot of people think there's resistance is futile. It's not.
I want to let the record show Luke said focus on making pods. He does want you to live in the pod and eat the bugs.
somebody
But anyway,
clip-
continue.
just
Homeschooling,
That-
homeschooling pods.
Luke is a
There
plant.
you go. That's a plant.
The M1 money supply has
gosh.
shrunk. Check it
I
out.
didn't even see it.
From March
Hey.
at 20 trillion,
You gotta
700
zoom out a
billion.
little bit because you can't see that peak.
I can't. I wouldn't be able to
Oh,
zoom
man,
out.
that sucks.
Okay, so you
It's
can
really
sort of
high.
see it. No, look at that.
There
It
it is.
dropped by about 40 billion. Is that maybe that's the
Jeez.
40 billion we gave to Ukraine from March to April? It's like 40 billion out of the money supply. But that was like six. No, I'm sorry. It was like it's like 80. Yeah, it drops by about 90 actually, about 90 billion. So I wonder if that's seeing where the recession is coming, because they were just pumping money into the system trying to keep it going, and they stopped, and now everything's going to fall apart because there's no real trade happening.
It's the
Well,
reset.
there could be bartering. I think bartering is something that people should also kind of look into, especially when it comes to having a community, having a network of individuals that could trade skills, that could trade goods, that could trade services. The Free State Project, I think, is ahead of its time. They do incredible things when it comes to homeschooling. They do incredible things when it comes to building communities. And I think, the Amish did it in their own particular way. There's no reason other people, other communities can't do it themselves as well. And once we start becoming personally responsible for ourselves, we don't need government. Government would become obsolete if people were just responsible for themselves as individuals, because we wouldn't need any government intervention. We wouldn't need anyone stepping in a way. We wouldn't need anyone saying, hey, we need big government for this. That's going to make the problem that much worse. The solution, I think, we're headed towards crazy turbulent times, but it doesn't mean that it can't be an opportunity to see the good and to build something better.
There it is again.
And we could reset.
There it is
I
again.
hear it. I
Who are you
hear
working
it.
for, Luke? Huh?
Who is this guy, Tim?
Who's signing
this
his
guy?
checks? Who's signing Luke's checks?
You know, it's funny because
You're right.
Luke
Right.
has all these videos where he's confronting very prominent individuals, And there was this one point where people were like, "There's no way Luke was actually able to get in front of like Ben Bernanke, so he must be a Fed."
Oh, sick.
And then we did this skit that was really funny. No, because like a lot of people were like, Luke puts out a video where he's like confronting Ben Bernanke
3 times.
3 times, and they're like, "There's no way."
Yeah.
They're like, "This guy's a plant." And so then we did a bit where Luke's phone rings and it says Ben Bernanke, and he's like, "Benny, what's up, man?" He's
Meanwhile-
like, "Yeah, I'll come hang out."
Yeah, I'm using disguises and like fake names and fake press credentials, fake websites and fake emails just to get into venues and events, and like staying outside literally hours on end, just waiting for one politician to maybe go this one particular way.
Wow, yep.
So I've been working my butt off, but
Yeah, that nose, it's not a real nose.
yeah.
Well, Luke, actually, I got the same thing myself when I covered the Uvalde shooting. A bunch of my DMs were like, "Isn't that weird, Jorge, that you just happened to be there?" And I'm like,
weird.
I was
Oh, dude,
covering
all the
the
time.
border in Eagle Pass, which is like an hour away.
This
I have
is
a
the
car.
border.
We
Yeah.
drove there.
How did that?
I love when people are like, "Isn't it weird?" I'm like, "Yeah, like sometimes things are weird."
Yeah.
But yes,
Often
it was
things are
weird. Like
This
maybe
whole show,
it was
this
weird.
whole show is a simulation. Tim is not real. He's not a real person.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
If
not.
you
the AI.
like, if you everybody knows this in this room that if you take his beanie off right now, it'll be like RoboCop.
Yeah, he disappeared.
Isn't it a little weird that Tim has his
No, it
beanie
is-
on?
Tim
right
doesn't-
now?
It is true, but the point
Tim
is
doesn't even know it.
No,
Tim
I do.
doesn't even know that he's not real.
No, I do. And the point is,
You don't.
by saying
Tim,
I,
you don't know.
I do. And the point
No,
is,
you don't.
by saying yes,
I'm
the
trying
people
to
who are
tell you.
watching assume that we're all joking, but there's no way to know if it's true or not.
Dun, dun,
So
dun.
when we tell
You're
you
in a
outright-
simulation, Tim.
when we
Tim,
tell
you're
people
not
outright,
real.
they will say it must be a joke, and they're all having a laugh, but it's real.
That's right.
Actually,
No.
that's the scariest thing with security is that people believe that stuff.
Timble's not real.
And then the threats we get aren't Antifa. The people who come and cause us problems are just crazy people. Like, we actually, believe it or not, after everything we've done and after everything that's happened, we've still had people try showing up here.
Yep. Don't give up.
And they'll be like, "I know that like you get death threats all the time, and like the bomb squad was just here, and the sign says warning, we will shoot intruders, but I decided to come onto your property anyway." And I'm like, "Wow, did the armed guard deter you?" Well, he did. And I'm like, "That's what we have him."
Jeez.
That's crazy out there.
Clout chasers.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, as I've been talking about civil war for years, it's like I'm kind of the point where watching the Brett Kavanaugh stuff. It's like, I feel that with what we've been dealing with.
Crazy.
That I'm just like, when they don't enforce that pisses me off because we're seeing something similar.
Well, this Kavanaugh assassination attempt came about a day after a study was published in the news, which showed that was something like 44% of young Democratic men support political assassinations.
Yep. And the fact that they're not stamping out those literally illegal protests as an attempt to sway judicial rulings is a sign to me that they would like to weaponize these people who like the idea of assassination. And I hate
Lydia,
it.
why are we
It's
waste our
crazy.
time doing that when we have to chase down these moms and dads at the school
Yeah,
board
I
meetings?
know,
Yeah.
I know.
That's the real folks.
Those
the
are the
real
real
threat.
threats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real threat are the moms and dads that don't want their children groomed and touched.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the people we got to go
Evil
after.
people.
You bigot.
Yeah.
Drew
It's
Hernandez,
true,
you
it's
bigot
true.
for that
I mean, that's the
statement.
real domestic terrorist.
Turns
Terrorism
out.
right there.
Independent journalism? Ugh.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Worse.
God.
God,
Yeah.
the worst.
Yuck.
Can you believe that?
Gross,
That
yeah.
First Amendment is literally the reason why we have terrorism in this
They believe they
country.
could say whatever they want? They believe they could think whatever they want?
How dare
You're,
they.
and this is going to shock you guys. They think they have the right to own firearms.
What?
And they think they have the right to own firearms even while having bad opinions that hurt my feelings.
Wrong opinions. Yeah.
I think
They
we need
hurt
red
your
flag
feelings,
laws.
bro?
I think we need red flag laws.
Will it make you feel better?
It
Yeah.
would probably help me feel a little bit better. I don't think I'm really going to be happy until I own nothing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it'll make me
Exactly.
feel like a
Yes.
little
Yeah.
better. Yeah,
Yes.
we'll be
Getting
partially
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah.
So we've
That
said
great reset is
Win. How
really
about that,
awesome.
Hold
Johnny
on,
Depp win?
we have announcement. We've said everything there is to say about politics. The show is over. We are wrapping Timcast up. This is our last
This is it.
episode. We've run out of
Charles
things
Schwab,
to say.
come in here
We're
and
done.
collect everything.
Solutions. Again, I talked about my solutions. What are
That's
your
why I'm
solutions
looking at
to this
you.
The
nonsense?
solution is to have Klaus Schwab live in studio with Tim
Oh,
Pool
actually, yeah.
and Luke and Seamus and everybody else. That's the solution.
I would love to
The
talk
Klaus
about that.
Schwab Luke Rudkowski debate.
Yes,
That'd be
and Bill
awesome.
Gates, our
Oh,
savior and our
let's
God.
do it. Yes.
The
Do you
Bill
guys-
Gates
Okay.
Elon Musk debate.
Did you guys see Lauren Southern's
That would
documentary?
be
That'd be
based.
amazing.
No,
If you
but
could
I've
get
seen
Bill
the trailer
Gates and
for it.
Elon
I've seen the trailer for it. And I'm excited to see
It's
it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it about the immigration crisis, people being lied to and all that stuff. I think the immigration thing is just
It's very complex. I think people
it's
don't.
a major
don't get
sign this country is just eroded. What's the solution then, Luke?
Well, personal responsibility. Not participating in the system, creating your own systems, creating your own communities, being there for your families, and being an example for everyone about how to live your life, being not affected by the soy. And by the GMOs and Monsantos and all the other things that are chemically castrating the future of this country. We've been bombarded. We've been attacked. I think health is one of the major aspects that we should be talking about more because essentially, when you look at fifth or fourth generational warfare, it depends on how you see it. The first thing you have to do is to destroy the human being. And one of the easiest way to do that is through, of course, poisoning that person. And I think a lot of our food is poison. I think we need to really start to understand nutrition and the importance of working out, sleeping right, getting rid of stress, and more importantly, eating right, because almost everywhere you look right now in our mainline society, something is trying to hurt you for the benefit of someone else. And I think with food, it's being done in such a huge way. And we could get into the debates about seed oils, vegetable oils, sugar, GMOs, and all these artificial things that are just added that have been wreaking havoc. And once people are, unhealthy physically, this leads to people being unhealthy mentally. And there's a big correlation between the gut and the mind. And I think that correlation is being taken advantage of by a lot of powerful people who are purposefully trying to get rid of your health, who are trying to attack your gut and trying to, of course, make you absolutely mentally unstable. And I think a lot of people are mentally unstable because of the diets that we're given and told to eat every single day.
I think that's very much true. And another aspect of it, even aside from the nutritional elements, which I would agree with you, there are some serious concerns there, is to habituate people towards choosing foods which have a pleasant taste but no real substance to them, because that habituates a person towards making decisions based on what is the most convenient for them and the most pleasurable,
short term.
and always looking for the path of least resistance rather than doing what is actually in alignment with reality.
It's drugs. They're literally drugging us through our food supply and at the same time chemically castrating us so we can't even reproduce. That's the basic byline that I think is the most important thing to talk about, most important thing to promote. And you could be an example of not being affected by it by, of course, living your best life, being healthy, choosing to eat the right foods, choosing to actually look into nutrition, look into things like organs, liver, and get away from all the other nonsense out there that absolutely is destroying your mental, physical, and spiritual health.
There's fluoride in our water.
Yes,
there is.
Involuntarily, but
Seamus
I
likes
have
fluoride.
What are you talking about?
And-
He's
But
I
look-
caught
drinking well water,
Seamus
don't listen
drinking
to him.
fluoride, and I'm like, Seamus.
It was straight fluoride. I ordered it from my dentist. I was like, yeah, let me just do some shots.
Just
No,
fluoride.
that's
Basically.
very bad for you.
Yes.
You will die.
Will that actually kill? I was making fun of Luke because I've never had fluoride in my
But look,
Yes, you did. You
kind
had
of
beers.
what you're
That's
saying
true.
too. I think another issue too with this generation is we have a generation of parents that have been convinced through big pharma that if you have a boy or girl and she has a little bit too much energy, just put him on pills.
Exactly.
Put him on pills.
No,
And
they give him
doctors
sugar.
The doctors try to do that with my mom. I'm glad that my mom's old school Salvadoran. She was like, I'm gonna just give this kid the fucking chancla.
All- All the diets have so much sugar in them, and they're like, oh,
Yep.
these kids can't sit at the desk for 8 hours. Give them Ritalin.
Yeah, give
them
them Ritalin.
Prozac.
It's not even just the
crazy.
sugar. It's not even just the sugar. Children are not just supposed to be sitting like that being
Yeah.
talked
No
at all
child
day.
is.
So there's this massive breakdown, and I talked about this on the show the other day, but Matt Walsh has this fantastic film, What is a Woman? And I think that's wonderful, but there are also so many other definitions that we no longer agree upon. We don't have any conception of what a child is. If you think it's normal for a kid to be able to sit in a desk like that for hours and hours a day, you fundamentally do not understand children at all.
Well, they want good factory workers.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
The Babylon
breaks you
Bee.
down.
The Babylon Bee came out with a good article that I just have to share, and they wrote an article that's titled "Marlboro adds puberty blockers to cigarettes to make them legal for kids."
Oh, brutal.
And we're not that far away from that kind of reality. Of course, there's a satirical website, but the point is kind of driven home here about the insanity of the future of this country, that it's being absolutely destroyed from within.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.